Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen, and I'm Melissa, and here to do another reading. I'm gonna mix up the decks a little. I started doing a reading earlier, and then my mom kind of came in the middle and busted into it, and so anyways, I'm starting again. I'm gonna mix up the decks a little bit more, and we'll just see where we land. The birds are kind of loud at this time of day. Oh my gosh. So I'm just going to do a split on this Priestess of Light, but I got clairvoyance, inspiration, interpretation, and trust, abundance, fortune, wealth, and plenty. I haven't gotten this one yet. I like it. So yeah, I feel like there's going to be a moment coming up having to do with abundance, or maybe sort of a breaking point almost, where something breaks open. So maybe like a job opportunity or some kind of breakthrough that's going to happen to affect your abundance. So I'm going to go to the Mystical Shaman Oracle, which also is my favorite deck, and we'll see where we are with that one. And it's kind of generally a more spiritual sort of perspective on things. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. So we got the Indian Cross and we got Sweat Lodge. So this is really interesting because Sweat Lodge is sort of there's a bird. Sweat Lodge is kind of it's sort of you're going through this process of purging negative energy, so it's you go to the Sweat Lodge and you sweat out all these toxins, but so it's the art is you're returning to the Mother Earth and you're sweating all the toxins, and you come out the other side of the tunnel and you're sort of purified, and there's this light at the end of this tunnel. But you have to go through this process of releasing, which is it can be really unpleasant because it's kind of like a detox almost, But we have this Indian Cross, in which this really represents kind of a portal from one stage of life to the next. So it's almost people talk about doing inner work to heal your vibration, to sort of raise you to the next level. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. And so it's just sort of in combination with these cards, it's almost this person has kind of done this work and they're about to have this breakthrough. It's kind of what I'm getting on that. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Light Seers Tarot. Pick some cards. Interesting. I had actually, that makes me think I had this crazy message that came out in the first reading that I did, which got sort of erased or whatever. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Hangman. So this is sort of taking a step back to get clairvoyance, taking a step back to sort of like get clarity on a situation, where you're sort of like taking a time out and like kind of figuring out like maybe there might be like an example of this toxic situation, like you're kind of trying to get clarity on like maybe what it is that you need to let go of that doesn't serve you anymore so that you can move forward. So we've got the King of Swords, we have the Emperor, we have the Three of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and the Sun. So it's really interesting because, like, I mean, these cards really kind of describe the situation that I just spoke of. Like, there's this truth that needs to come out. Look, there's this owl, which kind of represents like your ancestors are sort of like trying to maybe help you arrive at this. This bird represents the truth. So it's like your ancestors are all around you and they're trying to help you see this truth, this harsh truth of something that needs to like, you need to let go of in order to elevate to this emperor status, which is really where you belong, you know. And so you're trying to manifest in the this shift for yourself from this place of lack to abundance. And so maybe there's like people or situations in your life where you're being taken for granted, or you're not being appreciated for your value, and you're trying to manifest this shift. But part of that is going to have to be acknowledging what those situations are so that you can kind of like cut yourself free from them so that you can elevate. So really interesting. I'm going to go to excuse me, the Intuitive Night Goddess. I'm going to pick a couple cards from here. And we'll see. I'm like, I hear my mom. And I just heard her open the door. So it's like, okay, I gotta wrap this thing up. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one. Okay, so at the bottom, we have the Three of Cups. So this is a reunion with your tribe, like with your people, with your community, which is underlying this situation. And here, this fell on top of these two. So there is this Ten of Pentacles, this generational wealth, you know, falling on top of the Emperor and this harsh truth. Like, this is your destiny. This is what you deserve. However, we have this Four of Pentacles. There's like something that's holding you back from achieving that. And so, but there is this Cup of Love here for you. There's this transformation, this butterfly emerging out of this sweat lodge, you know, but you're going to have to like figure out how to cut yourself free so that you can emerge from this cocoon of transformation, which was actually, there was a reading that just happened about something about how deception had like oppressed someone. I'm going to link it here. And it had triggered this sort of gestational process. And they're about to like emerge from the cocoon, like the butterfly, you know. But part of that is going to be having to cut yourself free from whatever situation it was that caused the oppression in the first place. Okay, I'm going to do Everyday Tarot, and I'm going to pick a couple more, and then I'm going to go to the Oracle. Okay. Yeah, so at the bottom, we have the end of an era and the beginning of a new era. And so this is kind of like the Hangman, where you're sort of like taking this moment to reflect because things are about to change. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is like things are about to change. Like, and this is karma. Like, if you've been unjustly wronged or whatever, like, it's gonna flip. And the same is if somebody's been like benefiting from like kind of like screwing you over, like it's gonna flip for them too. This truth is gonna come out and it's gonna flip the equation. And we have Three of Cups, which is like reuniting you with your destiny, with your tribe. You know, that's the second time that's come out. So it definitely seems like there's this community that's coming in to sort of help lift you up out of this situation. And I feel like that was a reading that came out too recently. And I can't remember which one it is, but I'll try to link it here. But yeah, we're definitely... at this point where like something is profound is ending, and something new is beginning. And I feel like there was a reading too about that recently, about some crazy drama that was causing an ending that was going to lead to a new beginning. Okay, so I'm going to the Oracle of the Moon, Queen of the Moon Oracle, pick a couple final cards to end the reading. Okay, all right, so Snow Moon. So we have purity. So this blanket of snow is going to just like clean the slate on whatever this toxic situation is. And it's going to like basically totally change the landscape, you know, and for a new beginning. And then we have, it's interesting because it's like almost like there's this cocoon there. So we have discernment and we have power. So again, like this kind of goes back to this where it's just like you really need to be careful about where you invest your energy and be discriminating in order to allow for this empowerment to happen. And I feel like there was a reading about that too. It was just like about there's a big opportunity, so choose wisely. So yes, choose wisely who you invest your energy in and who you allow into your orbit right now, because it's going to make or break this rise. So big moments, and I will check in soon with more messages.